Until the 1st of February, I'm excited to be partnering with HelloFresh UK. Get money off fresh meal kits delivered to your door by using the discount link or the checkout code in the description below. Get 50% off your first box and 35% off the following 3, as well as 3 free gifts. If you want to see more from HelloFresh UK, then check out my social medias where I've been sharing my meals the last few weeks. And what's best, if you sign up, you help support the channel and you can cancel at any time. Another year and another European playoff here with Distillery, but is it going to be more heartbreak at the hands of Ballymena United? We start with them in a semi-final today, but will we have a final or will we just move into a season review? Let's go and find out. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 51 of this Build a Nation story, Lifting Spirits from Distillery with me, Daniel. We are back today for the European Places playoff semi-final. It is a repeat of last year's final, the game in which our hearts were broken away at Ballymena. And again, they are the opponents, but this time at the first hurdle as we try our outside luck at getting into Europe again. We've got 6th place v 5th and it's 4th v 7th in Glentoran v Cliftonville. I think the same 4 sides as last year. If we get through to the final, I'll probably on paper be more confident than I am for this one. So if you're looking forward to finding out if we can do it and changing this save for the long term, then please do put a thumbs up on it. As you can see, Linfield have nicked the league title again, all of the top 3 with identical goal differences. And Dungannon, after that win against us in the last episode, flew to safety following the league split. Carrick and Glenarvan are the 2 going down and in the playoff respectively. But we're all focused on the top end, our finances are okay, it is a chance at European football, and as soon as we make that for the first time, it will change this save. But let's go and see if we can do it via the schedule where I show you the last few games. Because since you were last with me, we have played 4 matches. It's been a bit of a mixed bag actually. We managed to pick up 4 points in our remaining 2 home games, which gives me more confidence if we can get to Glentoran again. But Ballymena remain a bogey side, and that's going to be a problem in this episode. We lost 1-0 to them in the second game after the split. A second half goal was the one that cost us. A 2-0 win at home to Glentoran. McElhatton there with a brace. Lots of injuries, which may give us some headaches today. They're on the cusp of being back, all of them. And in Linfield, we drew 1-1 at home with Barry Coffey with a late equaliser in that one. Before against Larne, we lost 1-0 due to another second half goal. But we did bring back Whitehall off the bench in that game. So I'm hoping he'll be fit. Whether Latifa is a very different question. But it's Ballymena United, a side that we've probably got one of the worst records against of anyone in Northern Irish football. 13 points from 15 games against them. Won 4, lost 10, drawn 1. And if we have a look at this season in particular, we had that brilliant win there on the second day of the season. And since then, they have beaten us comfortably. And not only have they done that, we've not scored a goal against them. We did manage one last year in the Places playoff final. We were actually the better side in that game, but didn't get the result. But what will happen today? 2 games potentially away from Europe, but we could be out in 1 if we lose this. So let's go and get through to the fixtures. It's Ballymena United versus Distillery. There's a few little transfer bits going on already, and for a few of these players, it might be their last time featuring for the club. And potentially, we are just 180 minutes from history. We've been recommended to put McElhatton on the right, which suggests Latifa probably isn't fit. But if he's even half fit, we'll put him in the squad, because there's no point saving him for something. Let's go and get through to the team selection. The 11 that played last time is fit. Whitehall will come back in centre midfield, and Latifa is not quite there. He's got sprained ankle ligaments, he's failed a fitness test, but I'm going to chuck him on the bench regardless. I'm not quite sure who for at this point. Maybe one of the defenders, because do we need 3? I'm tempted to put him on for Leon Boyd, because he's not scored goals this season, and although he's been a hero in the past, he might be the one to take off. I think it is. We're going to go for him. It's a bold move, I know, but the team is relatively strong. It's 1 away from our first 11, and this is the side that will face Ballymena United. It is Ethan Ross in goal, Dobbin and Bell the fullbacks with Orkin and Williams at centre-half, Whitehall and Daniels in midfield, Crow and Scott on the wings, and then Barry Coffey behind Jonathan McElhatton, keeping his normal pattern, awful 3 games, good in 2, and when he scores doubles. So let's hope one of those days is today. Through we go to Ballymena Distillery. We're going to go cautious when we get into it. I'm not sure Whitehall will do the whole game. I'm not sure Latifa's fit enough for the bench. We're going to gamble on both. This is a big moment in this save. And here we go with a very familiar name in the Ballymena side. Mark McDade is the man we tried to sign on loan on deadline day in January. He is the man starting left back for them today. Con Clark scored the winner last time we faced each other in the middle, and there are some quality players through the rest of the squad. But let's just go and get into the first half. There is no point trying to predict this. We're going to play with no pressure. We're underdogs regardless. We're still not at the level of the top 4 or Ballymena, and hopefully a year or two down the line this will be a distant memory. But for now, we've got to scrap and we've got to try and counter our way into Europe. So let's get into the first half. Ballymena have got a very big crowd in, and I'm not sure we're going to be able to do this. Well, on the right-hand side, we've got a free kick. It's been a very quiet first 19 minutes, but if we can put this one in, I'm not going to care how quiet the game is. As Daniels crosses towards Orkin, it's down for Williams. Oh, the shot deflects over. It's a glorious chance, but it fell for a centre-half on his left foot. Not ideal at all, really. Daniels has got the corner, though. Another chance to put one in. Fingers crossed we can have that moment of magic. Up towards Williams, it's headed away, and Coffey will bring it down on the right-hand side. Chips it in. It's pretty useless in truth. It's through to the goalkeeper. 0-0 with 20 gone, but that probably was the best chance of the game so far. Though just past the half an hour mark, and we're back at the other end, and this is what worries me. McDade takes a throw to Walsh into McCann, and it's as simple as that. They've had a couple of warning shots already, but this time it's a simple ball in, and Orkin isn't good enough for this level. It's one or two positions where we're not up to speed, and Kofi Orkin, as good as he's been for us, is prime amongst them. At half-time, Ballymena have been the better side. Bit surprised that our shot didn't go down as one on target. Tell the lads they're unlucky. Look, they're happy, they're motivated, they're relaxed. Now go and respond in the second half. When we have had good games, we've generally scored goals late on. Ventura are winning against Cliftonville. We've got a good record against both of those sides. Let us get through and face one of them, and I'd really fancy our chances. But at the moment, Ballymena are keeping us quiet. Our morale is shot. It's like the lads can sense deja vu every time they play them. I'm going to wait till the last 15 because this is our strongest squad. And then we're going to go for it. We're going to get some subs on. We'll give it 5 and then we'll go aggressive. Oren Crow replaced by Latifa. There's no point risking fitness now, then when is there a chance? Left-hand side, Scott off for Convey. Centre midfield, maybe Whitehall. I'm going to leave him on. We'll take Barry Coffey off, who's having a poor game for Heaney. Hart will come on for Daniels in that deep line playmaker role. Mucklehatton, do I take him? No, I don't. I'm going to leave it. Orkin off, Jeffrey on. That is the final sub. 5 changes made. We'll go to 80 minutes. Then we're going to go attack him. We're going to push for it. We've got to try and get back into it. Let's encourage them one more time. And let's really throw the kitchen sink at them. They're hopefully going to go a little bit more cautious themselves. And it might just allow us to push the pressure on. As Ross has got the ball in his own penalty area. Looking for that big kick over the top. Mucklehatton and Heaney chases. Mucklehatton's in. He doesn't miss many, but he's missed that one. He hits the woodwork from such a good opportunity. And of all the times for him to start missing, Jonathan Mucklehatton, it was a whisker away. But a whisker away is the same as last year. You don't get any prizes for that. Ballymena have left 3 up and they're now in on the counter. And I think, oh, it's just over the bar. Our attacking nature was probably going to cost us there. We look so brittle at the back when we go aggressive. We've actually got the higher expected goals, but we don't manage to take our chances. 1 shot on target from over 1 expected goal is not good enough. It explains our problems. We're a little bit light in terms of attacking depth, and we haven't got a great centre half. That lost header has cost us a place in Europe again. Let's go and talk to the lads because it was a pretty decent effort, but I'm looking at some of these players in the squad now, and we'll do it in the season review in a minute. But a lot of them are coming into the last year of their contract. And people like Curtis Bell, they've already said they're not really willing to discuss terms. So if we don't get a big upgrade and break in next year, I'm not sure we're going to do it anytime soon. Let's go and see what the season review has in store. And then we'll go and plan next season. Because I didn't want to spoil the length of the episode. And here is the end of season review after Ballymena United break our hearts again. The new arrivals this season, though, did show a big upgrade. Whitehall, Williams, Daniels and Mucklehatton's return. Those 4 have been a key part of the core of our team. We always get to this screen and realise just how much we've improved. If we can bring in 4 or 5 players in the other positions that are as good as these guys next year, we will be on the cusp of the top 3. I have no doubt of that. Certainly be guaranteed 4th and home ties in those playoffs. We can maybe have a go at a cup. That's something we can look at. but at the moment, the big sides are dominating that too. Let's go to the transfers out. Matthew Buchanan was the big sale, if you remember. And again, he's made one sub-appearance and scored for Coleraine. He plays really well when he gets on, but he's just not developing enough or playing enough. He's shown no improvement other than slightly on his personality since leaving, and I really wonder what's going to happen to him next year. Maybe he can come back as a backup on loan, I don't know. But in terms of transfers out and loans out, we have really shown improvement to this squad. There's a few players that have gone out on loan and done well. David Logue is working hard, he's improving a little bit. So a sign that some of our youngsters might possibly make it. But unfortunately, at the rate we're improving, it's probably just going to be too soon for them here. Let's go and get through to the season results, where we had an average home attendance of over 1,000. The extra game at home to Linfield really helped with that. And being in the top 6 is key. It keeps our finances in the positive numbers up to the end of the season as well. We avoid relegation, we break into 6th place, but we're still in that group of 3. You look at the points totals. It's us, Ballymena and Cliftonville. Glentoran continue to underachieve, but the big 3, they are miles away from us. The big difference, as you can see, is that they don't lose games. 3, 4 and 3 defeats respectively. The rest of us are in double figures. Until we can change that, turn maybe 8 of those defeats into draws, then maybe we can start to look up at Glentoran. But for now, the top 3 are a long way away. It's probably going to take us to the 10-year mark to even get close, and that's if we can get into Europe in the meantime. We've got a few of our players being coveted too, which might be an issue, but we'll come back to that. If we have a look at our form over the season, it was that big spell in the middle that cost us. The Portadown games were so bad. Them and Ballymena are basically our 2 bogey sides. If we can deal with Portadown, we've got a real good chance, because we'll go up 9 or 10 points in the league. In terms of the Northern Irish Cup, very disappointing against Warren Point at home. The League Cup, not much better. We lost on penalties to Larne. And in the Shield, we were shocked at home as well. So definitely a route for improvement next season. We've got to do better in the Cups. A 5-1 win was the biggest one at Crusaders. McElhatton scored 2 in that. A 4-0 win was the match to remember against Dungannon. Without that red card, it probably would have been tighter. And goal of the season came from Daniel Dobbin in a big 2-0 win away at Carrick. Through to the finances, which look okay. It's not really changed from last season. The broadcast revenue is slightly down. I'm guessing because we played 1 less game in the playoffs. The sponsorship is the same. The prize money is slightly less. Again, I guess because we lost the semi-final and we didn't do well in the cups. We got to the semi-final, don't forget, of the Northern Irish Cup last year. Corporate's up, match day commercials up. So there's signs we're getting a little bigger. But we're still hindered by a 1-star reputation. The shirt sales are still pretty meagre, if we're being honest. And until we get European football, I don't see that changing. How did we line up? What is the best 11 here? Do I agree with it? I think that's my exact 11. Fair play to them. They've really nailed it this time. Definitely Kofi Orkin is someone we've got to look at replacing there. And maybe Latifa on the right as well. Lewis Scott's disappointed on the left, not really stayed fit. But overall, this is probably a pretty solid and balanced team. It's just about having depth that's as strong. The big benefit we had in our first season up is that even though our first 11 wasn't as strong by comparison, we had a second team where you didn't really notice the difference. Now if we take out the first 11 and put in 6 or 7 of the subs, it is a huge, big decline in quality. And that's what we've seen when we played the top sides and when we had them 2 months of fixture congestion. Do I rely maybe on a few more loans, a few more free agents, a few younger players? Just try and beef the squad up a little bit next year, because I feel that's what harmed us over the festive period. We were playing loads of players who were tired. In the end, it came back to bite us. Club awards this season, no records broken. Can't remember the last time I saw that. Fans player of the season was Sean Daniels, fair enough. That tells you how bad McElhatton was in the games he didn't score, because he got 28 and wasn't a fan's favourite. Signing of the season, Ben Williams, even though Sean Daniels was a new signing. Young player of the season is Daniels too. Dobbin we knew was goal of the season, and to be fair, Daniels had most of the other stats, so we can't complain about that. A big difference for him was the midfield assists. We talked about it last year with Jarvis, Levingston, etc. He was creating those chances for McElhatton, and that's something we've got to build on next year. Just maybe need a bit of quality out wide as well. History in the making as we get a first top half finish in the Irish Prem. We're still making progress. We're still moving up the league, but we're not getting into Europe, and financially, that is the moment this save changes. The first milestone is that we celebrated 5 years in charge of Distillery last summer, but then look at the signings this year. Daniels, Whitehall, Ben Williams, they made such a difference to this team. McElhatton obviously came in as the only paid transfer last summer. Not sure what our budget is, I can't remember. We'll go and have a look in a moment. But that is the season review. Let's go and have a look at some of the messages and get prepared for next season. You can tell me if you agree with where I need to improve. We'll go through the team in a minute. We'll decide who's leaving and who we'd like to keep. Well, this is something I haven't seen before in this save, and it's something of real interest. Obviously, we've been talking about English football a bit because we had some job interview offers over the winter. We've been linked with Morgan Griffiths. He's a player I've never heard of. He's Welsh, he's on 180 quid a week, and he's out of contract this summer. Now, he's someone I'd probably have to gamble and get in if it's being suggested, but really weird that we're getting suggested random players that I don't know. We've got some players inducted into our overall 11 for the here and now though. Jonathan McElhatton, the pick of the three, he moves on to the bench, still behind Leon Boyd. Gonna have a chance to catch him next year though. And then Dobbin and Coffey also add to the bench. I'm sure they'll break in before too long. Where are the best 11 now? I'm not going to worry about that. Really annoyed that Mark McKee retired. He was the one that I wanted to play in every division for us. He left the club, he wouldn't sign a deal for the top tier, and then he retired 6 months later. So infuriating. The 27-28 season review, we did alright in 5th place. We're not going to worry about that old side. We've got more social media followers, we've got a few more family fans coming in, so there is a sign that we're just starting to make a bit of progress. The fans want us to avoid relegation next year. What do the board want? Mid-table finish. Okay, they're starting to push us now. They're saying best of the rest by 2032. I guess that is the 10-year mark in a save. That's where I said, isn't it? But we've got to build our squad for that. The dynamics are pretty interesting this summer because a lot of the weaker players in the squad, McGill, Orkin, Convey, they're the ones that are the highest influential players or the team leaders. And that's going to be something we've got to work on next year. Hopefully a few of those others can push their way up. But for now, that is a little bit of a worry. The club visions will accept because that's absolutely fine. And let's see who we want to keep because we're going to have to be quite clever this summer. We've got 14 grand of transfer budget, no spare wage budget bar 20 quid. So we are going to have to let people go if we want to get people in. Maybe rely on a few more youth players to beef the squad and then get 2 or 3 bits of quality in. We do know though that there are a few players leaving the club now and in December. The ones that are out of contract this month are ones we've got to make decisions on because McGill, Convey and Heaney, all sort of squad backup players, all want to stay for similar wages. Is it really worth our money to do that? McGill, don't forget, is the team leader, is the model citizen. Maybe we keep him for the mentoring groups. He doesn't mind not playing. The other two, a little bit funnier about that. Kofi Orkin is the last one out of contract this summer, but he wants to double his wage, and I don't know that he's justified that. To keep a backup on double the amount of money, it really is pushing it. Maybe if we can get Jeffrey on loan again, maybe I won't bother with Orkin and I'll just let him go. Looking at December, we've got Aaron Jarvis, who I'd really like to get rid of. Was a mistake offering a new deal. I'll accept you guys were right in the comments. Lucas, Crow and Boyd, the rest of them, none of them really shining stars again. So probably going to depend on what wage they want. The rest of the squad, bar 2, are out of contract next summer. And given some of the stars in there, that is going to be a big problem. The other issue we might have is that a few of our players are wanted by big clubs. Sean Daniels is wanted by Linfield. And by the rules of this save, I probably have to let him go because he's going to do better there. He's going to improve them in Europe. And one of the things we always said is we've got to build the nation too. If we've got an opportunity to sell players to other clubs in our nation, we probably have to do it. Sean Daniels might bring us in a bit of money. We can get 45 grand and a sell-on clause. I'll have no problem whatsoever. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Watch this space. Our star player, our signing of the season, and our best rated player this year might be the one that leaves this summer to make way. We've had it before with Dylan McLean. Will we have it again with him? But you look at this team, definitely the weakness is centre-half. Whether Jeffrey stays or not, I don't know. Orkin isn't strong enough regardless. Dobbin's alright, but there's nothing behind him. Curtis Bell's good. Is Lucas a good enough backup? Can we really, this summer, with the budget we've got, have we got the opportunity to improve those 2-star backups and make them 3-star? I don't know that we have. Taylor Hart was one we managed to do in January, but he might end up being first choice if Daniels goes. So I don't know that this squad is actually going to get stronger this year. And this is the problem when you don't get into Europe. We've got to find a second striker who's better, even if it's a lone gamble. Leon Boyd, I love him, but he's not ready for it now. He's not improved. He's not reached his potential. We probably have to say goodbye. In terms of midfielders, Latifa's the weakest in the squad, but he's still pretty good and he's played all right. So I don't know that he's going to be a priority. Centre half is the one I want to get in. Right wing would be the second position, and then definitely a bit more squad depth both up front and in defence. Let me know if you agree down in the comments though. How can we get some of these boys off the books? And most importantly, should we sell Sean Daniels to Linfield if they offer a good figure? I feel like the sell-on clause would make it a good option, because where they sold Albert Press, for example, or they signed from Ballymena, they set Ballymena up for a few years, and that's why they keep beating us. We've also, hopefully, got an opportunity to sell some clauses later. I really need Buchanan to develop. He's got a sell-on clause, as has Darren Mallon. I don't actually know who Craig Burrows is. I'm wondering if he's a youngster who was poached. He was. So here's a young centre-half at Bray Wanderers. We've got a 5% sell-on for him as well. So hopefully those ones start to add up and benefit us later down the line. But for now, it looks like it's going to be a very tricky summer. A lot of wheeling and dealing, a lot of frugal business. But if we reflect on the competition screen, we fall one stage earlier than last year. The same opponents, Ballymena, put us out of the European playoffs. We did worse in the Cups too, but I guess most importantly, we did get in the top half for the first time. Progress, small baby steps, not as easy as Bangor City in Wales a couple of years ago, is it? If you did enjoy the episode and the disappointment again, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you think we should prioritise in the summer, and do you think we can take that next step? If you want to stay up to date and find out, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. It's been a very big week in the head coach. I'll put that playlist up in the eye above, and a huge transfer special to come here in a couple of days' time. Can we get what we need on a shoestring budget? Or is it going to be another year of frustration? I hope you'll come and join me to find out the answer to that. In the meantime, I'll put one of the recent head coaches above my head now. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you back here next time.